Today we're here putting down our base coat. It's a 100% solid base coat that we use. We do not use low-end materials even for our base coat. It takes a whole process and a team to put these floors down, especially on today. This is the hardest day of coating that you have because there's so many different variables. First, you've got the squeegee guy who applies the material at 200 square foot to the gallon. Then you have your rollers that have to roll the floor out and make sure there's no puddles or high spots and low spots or dry spots. At the same time, you have your mix man mixing up your material, and you have your chip throwers or broadcasters out on the floor. So as you can see, it's a whole huge process. With the chip throwers, as you can see that they're throwing these chips, they're going to go through and really put down a nice blanket of the chips and make sure it's good and even and no shiny spots. And what the shiny spots mean is the fact that the chips are bleeding through, or the epoxy is starting to bleed through to the top of the chips, and they're sinking. So we want to make sure and cover all those. So as you can see, Ashley's actually walking back out onto the chips. She's doing that on purpose to make sure that we have everything covered. One of the things that I want you to note on when she's walking out on the chips is you've got to be very, very, very careful. You don't want to scuff or take your spiked shoes and leave marks in your floor, because then you have to come back, roll it, and redo it. So as you can see here, we're brush cutting as we go. I think that's a very important part of this process, because if you brush cut way ahead and then you get there a little bit later, an hour later, and the material's already starting to cure, your chips are not going to bond. You have to brush cut at the same time as you're applying this process, especially on a hot summer day. So just pay attention, make sure you're covering all your bases, make sure everybody is being detail oriented, and just make sure that you're going back out and there's no dry spots. So stay tuned. We're going to get this done, and then we'll show you the rest of this floor and the rest of the processes and videos to come.